and welcome to another episode of Deurama Unnie, the Kdrama After Party podcast. I'm your host, Deurama Unnie, and today we're going to be talking about 10 K dramas that I rewatch often that I recommend for you to watch. And you might like it and end up rewatching it like I do. And to start us off, we have the K drama Healer. Now, I just want to point out that I've recommended Healer to a particular friend of mine for a long time. And now we're in 2023, and this said friend is not watched it yet. And I'm quite disappointed. It makes me wonder, does this mean this friendship needs to end? Because I feel like it does. If they don't watch this by the end of this month, just delete my number, block me from your life. Just know we're done. We're done forever. But to go back into the actual drama, Healer is a drama that aired from 2014 to 2015, starring Ji Chang Wook, Park Mi Young, and Yoo Ji Tae, and a bunch of different characters that are amazing. And I love this K drama. I've rewatched this so many times. There's nothing but love. Ji Chang Wook did his damn thing in it. The entire thing. Overall, Healer is about a career who goes by the code name Healer, and basically he does kind of top secret task, delivering stuff, sending stuff for people, all in the hopes of making enough money to buy an island and go live there by himself. He don't like people. I get it. Sometimes I don't like people as well. And then it also follows Park Min Young's character, who's a journalist in search of celebrity truth. But I don't want to go too much into it because I do want you to go ahead and watch it. But what I loved about this drama was that there are definitely action scenes. I mean, there are scenes where this man was parkouring building to building, chasing after a car, and it was literally unnecessary, but we love to see it. There's romance aspect to it, and there's a particular trope that we see a lot in K dramas that we see in this drama, but they do it so well. Unlike other dramas where it kind of feels like a gimmicky thing, they infuse it in the story as like an actual plot, as opposed to just like, oh, here's this random thing we're gonna throw, like here's amnesia. Well, there's a layer of that, but they do it differently where it doesn't feel gimmicky. All the characters were very fun. All these supporting characters, they did a really great job. I loved though it was actiony, like if you're not someone that loves action, that's not it entirely. That's not the entirety of the series. It does have romance. I think one of the things that were always funny to me is that they would always play this like romantic music during the action scenes. And I'm just like, okay, that's a choice. That's a bold choice that we're doing here. But I think ultimately the plot line was great. We saw some like really good character development. And it doesn't have the typical like melodramatic like things. There was no second male lead. There was no love triangle esque things in this. They got straight to it. It was very funny. It was fun. I think this is probably one of the dramas where I loved Park Mi Young's acting. And yeah, that's all I'm gonna give to Healer because I want you to go ahead and watch it. It's a sin that you haven't watched it yet. It truly is. And I'm talking to you. You know yourself. You know yourself. You can see me. One of the cons I will say about this drama is you can't be watching this while you're scrolling your phone. You can't. You can't be scrolling your phone and watching this drama because you have to pay attention. If you don't pay attention, you miss really key details about this drama. That would be the only con, and the sheer fact that you will definitely binge it if you have taste. But now we're going to move on to the next drama. And the next drama is Signal. Signal is a suspense mystery. There's a little bit of, I guess, supernatural element to it, or fantasy element. I don't know how you would describe that genre. but there's no one with powers or anything, just someone able to speak to someone in the past through walkie talkie, like one of those things that the police use to talk to each other. Anyways, it aired in 2016, starring Cho Jin Wong as Detective Lee Jae-on, Kim Hae-soon, a baddie, as a senior detective Cha Soo-hyun, and then we have Hee Jae-hoon as profiler Park Hae-young, and we know him. That's Taxi Driver Boo right there. Taxi Driver. Oh, I almost said something that I would have definitely cringed if I heard it back. And other people that are amazing. Basically, Lee Jae-hoon's character found this old walkie-talkie, and in this old walkie-talkie, he could now communicate to the detective played by Cho Jin-won from the past. And together, they work together to solve cases that were not solved in the past or are active in the past, but obviously in the present, we have more details. And one thing you will find is that detective and Kim Hae-soon's character worked together in the past, but you can't see, there's no version of him in the present. And as you watch it, you kind of get to understand why. And it's a very, like, I think I watched it while it was airing. So I would say that for me, it was intriguing. It was intense because I had to wait every week for new episodes to drop. But the script was really amazing. The storytelling was really great. We were able to see some involvement, like evolving character development for a lot of the main characters on the show. There are moments where you probably are a bit irritated with Kim Hae-soo's character, but those moments are not enough to say this is not a great drama to rewatch. They did a really good job with acting. I'll give them that. And I would recommend Signal to those who are maybe new to K-dramas, and maybe are men, or maybe are types who like, who, what's the word? Don't love like a romance element. Like, I just think that this drama is for people like that. If you want to watch a K-drama with your boyfriend, I would recommend Signal. Not that I'm putting men in a bucket, but some people, yeah. Anyways, I would say that some of the cons to it is that it is the way it ends kind of makes it seem like there's going to be like a sequel, but it's been years now. We ain't seen nothing, so I don't know. And then the other things are like you're gonna binge watch it, so just prep food, snacks, drinks. But yeah, that's it for Signal. We're gonna go ahead and jump into weightlifting Kim Bok-ju. It is a comedy, romance, slice of life, coming of age, all of those combined together. I really Kim Bok-ju aired in 2016 into 2017, and I really like this drama. I didn't think I would, and I watched it while it was airing, and I watched it because I thought I wasn't gonna like it that much, so I wouldn't really care that it's like actively airing and I have to wait. But I did. It's so different. It's so funny. It's so relatable. The actors did a really good job, like really good job. I heard that they dated after the show. I believe they're no longer together, but either way, they killed it. I think that like if you're looking for something that tells a story of romance, tells a story of friendship, tells a story of coming of age, like going through the pressures of being an athlete, trying to figure out where you are in life, trying to do normal things because you're a bodybuilder or a weightlifter and you're not necessarily seen as petite and cute like non-weightlifter people. I don't know. So it's very like lighthearted, but at the same time, it has so much depth to it. You get to watch this character go through a period of depression where she doesn't know that that's what it is, right? She just feels like she just doesn't want to do anything. She doesn't want to go anywhere. She doesn't want to do the thing that she loves so much. And it looks soft on the outside. When you look at the poster of the drama, it seems like just a really cute, fun drama, and you think that that's all you're gonna get out of it. But I think that like it portrays like the authenticity of friendship, growth, the essence of sports, I would say, because they go to a sports school and a lot of the characters play some sort of sport, and even with the male character, learning his backstory, what drives him and what doesn't drive him. And I think out of that also comes the little iconic, do you like Messi? I actually sell stickers inspired by that drama. There's a sticker called Weightlifting Fairy, and it has like what the American version of a fairy is. And then that fairy lifting weights. And then we have the Do You Like Messi sticker. And when you do watch that, you will get what that means. But I genuinely would recommend that drama to literally anyone. Like, I think it's a very soft way to enter into the K-drama world. It's a very soft but depth heavy drama where you have moments where you're laughing, and then you have moments where you're connecting with the character and relating to what they're struggling with. We have tones around, I already mentioned depression, trying to figure out yourself, the pressure of wanting to be better or the best at something. There are tones of abandonment from a parent. There's just a lot of things in that drama that, though it seems like it's just fun and catchy, it's actually a lot more than that. But I truly enjoy it. You should definitely check it out if you have never seen it. Now, we're going to talk about the Korean drama, which I believe was Soji Sub's first main drama back from the military. And that is, I know there was one he did, but we don't count that one. Not that we don't count it. It's just, yeah. Anyways, we're going to be talking about the drama Oh My Venus. This is a romantic comedy drama. And like, I love Soji Sub. So anything that man's in, it gives for me. But yeah. It aired in 2015 into 2016, and like I mentioned, it's a romance comedy. I would say, overview, this plot follows an overweight lawyer. Overweight is a stretch, but I see where they're going. It follows an overweight lawyer who basically wants to kind of regain her physique. And so she partners with a personal trainer known as John Kim, also known as Kim Young-ho, played by Soji Sub. And he was overseas for a while, had a whole scandal with Hannah Soo, which is just very... I was like, who is this lady? It wasn't even believable. Anyway, it doesn't even matter. That's not the point. And then he came back to Korea. He, of course, is a son of a conglomerate. So he's a whole table. And so this kind of follows the story of her trying to get back, because part of this is also dealing with heartbreak, because she gets, a relationship she was in for a long time ends, but it doesn't end on good standing. There's sort of involvement of like a third party who she knew in her past life. Well, I wouldn't say her past life. I would say when she was younger, like college time. And then there's like this group of oddballs. We have Henry, who's in it. Henry, formerly of, I don't even know, was he in Super Junior or some subgroup of Super Junior? I'm not sure. But Henry was in it. And all I remember is that every time he spoke English, it made me cringe. And I don't know. He's an English speaker. But I don't know, maybe just the English and the acting and the lines that it was given just didn't read natural. But I just remember it was cute though. Like, it wasn't anything I'm like, oh, I don't want to watch this, but it was definitely cringy. And then you have the dude who was like a boxer or something like that. So we had those sort of like characters. But I think the biggest thing here is that though it's very lighthearted, there's no real like major theme. I mean, the main character, the main male lead, has some sort of psychological illness. Like he had an accident, and then I'm not to explain without giving spoilers. I guess it's really not a spoiler. It's not a major plot point, but he was injured, and part of that kind of remained in his body, like trauma. And so that was like a layer in essence where it kind of had a mellow vibe, but they never really focused on that. Long story short, it's a light-hearted drama, very entertaining. If you've been watching a lot of dark stuff, it would just kind of be, you know how when people like are trying out testing perfumes, and then they like smell the coffee to kind of refresh their smell glands. That's what I would say Oh My Venus is. It's just lighthearted. It's cute. It's funny. They have moments, right? Because there are real things happening, like real, like going through heartbreak, betrayal, overcoming trauma, and yeah. But 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10 recommend. If you're looking for action, there isn't much of that in there. If you're looking for like super depth plots, it's not in there. But like, not everything has to be like a freaking dissertation, you know? So sometimes it can just be light and fun, and we need that in life. So it's a really feel good show. There's no major deep conflict. I mean, the first scene, her freaking Spanx were being cut out of her body on the airplane. So where else can you go from there except for just down that fun path? But yeah, so that's all for Oh My Venus. Now we're gonna get into the next drama, being Stranger, also known as Forest of Secrets. This is very much a crime thriller, and I love Stranger. Stranger has 2 seasons. So season 1 aired in 2017, and then season 2 aired in 2020. We're gonna talk about season 1. That's the one I'm gonna mainly recommend to you, and then you can decide what you want to do with season 2. But basically, this stars Cho Sung-woo and Bae Doo-na. Cho Sung-woo plays Hwang Shin-mok, and Bae Doo-na plays Han Yo-jin. Hwang Shin-mok is a prosecutor. Han Yo-jin is a police lieutenant. And basically, they've worked together to solve this murder. So there is a murder that happens that kind of propels the entire story, and it's very, I don't know how to say that I love this drama so much. I watched this when it aired, so factoring in that I had to wait every week to the next episode. I think that when it aired, I hadn't watched something like that in a minute. Like that had politics, conglomerates, corruption, and it was police and the prosecution team. And I really enjoyed it. I think Hwang Shin-wok's character is very, very cold, appears that way. They go into details as to why he is that way. And sometimes people do try to use that against him in a negative manner, but he's very like black and white. But then it gets to have moments where he realizes that maybe he is like the other people, where he might be taking advantage of his connection to someone to get ahead, even though for him, what he's doing is of the good of whatever, right? So he's trying to solve a case of a murder. I think what's very interesting is that the death of this person opened up so many secrets, it just opened up doors of just a web of corruption. And the plot twist, when there is a plot twist that I feel like I still didn't even believe at the first watch. I was like, nah, this is a lie. What? And then I rewatched it and I was like, okay, I've come to accept it, I think that like the storyline was definitely very engaging. I came back, because sometimes I could start watching a drama and just forget about it. I've had that with a couple dramas. This one, I kept coming back to watch. The character arcs were very interesting. The different characters they had, there's little to no romance. There were tiny hints. Like when I say tiny, I mean like minute hints of what could possibly be romance. But that was not the focus of the show at all. We got to meet amazing characters that ended up playing a key role in it, though they might not have been there for the entire series. But the plot twist of like how everything unfolds was just amazing. Now, I wanted season 2 so bad. I was fiending for season 2. I'm gonna be honest. And so when years later season 2 was announced, I raced to my Netflix. I said, "Let's do it. You guys can take the increased money from me so I can watch Stranger." Um, Granted, I could watch it on one of those like fake sites, those sites that you could get a virus from, but I don't really like risking things like that, so I'd rather just shove out the money. Season 2, I liked. I really did like season 2. I watched it. I've rewatched it a couple times as well. The plot of season 2 is a bit of a mess. It opens with a murder, and then a couple that might have been involved in a murder, and then a old previous former persecutor, and then the police and the persecution against each other, trying to get one person is trying to get police are trying to get more power in closing the case. Persecution is like, why would you have that power? So they're throwing things at each other, and then there's another murder, and then there's a kidnapping, and then there's then all of a sudden someone from the beginning murder involved in the kidnapping, but then somehow is connected to the other murder. It's very complicated. Like season 1 had a lot of things going on. I would say that. It had a lot of things going on, but it was a lot easier to follow. Season 2 was not as easy to follow, but what I did like about season 2 is that we got to see a little bit extra interactions between Bae Doona's character and Sungwoo's character. So we got to see Shimok and Yeojin like interact more. I think this isn't a spoiler, so I'll say there was a scene where the police and the prosecution were having their first meeting. They were all sitting across from each other, and Shimok had a moment, and he like left, and she like went after him, and that scene was probably one of the most emotional like outward reaction I've seen from Shimok in the entire 2 seasons. But I do. Season 2 is definitely, you have to hella pay attention. There's just so many things, so many sub stories that don't necessarily fully connect to each other, but they do in a sense. But if you're not paying attention, you miss that. You're just like, wait, what just happened? Like, why are we what? Yeah. But this is what I would say. I've rewatched season 1 like 10 times, let's say, and then I've rewatched season 2 like 4 times. So I recommend 100% to watch season 1, and then if you're feeling fresh, if you're feeling funky, then check out season 2. I don't think you'll regret it. I just don't know that maybe you might not put it on your rewatch list. And with that, we're gonna go ahead and take a pause and do a throwback Kpop. We're throwing back to the Queen of Legs. Just kidding. We're throwing back to Pak Bum formerly of 21, her solo song "You and I." Oh, 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 yeah, yeah. Mm-mm-mm-mm. You keep going. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Ah, tonight. And now together it just feels so right. There, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So much. Mhm. Mm, right here, baby. And night together, it just feels so right. Baby. It just feels so right. Yes. And that was Pac Bomb, You and I freaking love this song so much. I think that like every time I listen to songs from that time, it I don't know, I love the feeling of nostalgia. It just makes me feel warm on the inside. And then I just want to go down this rabbit hole of like listening to everything from that time because it's just like, take me back. Take me back. I miss this type of music. I like the music now too, but it just takes me back to a time when I was younger and life was just easier, you know? So now we're gonna get back into the thick of things. Next drama on my rewatch list is I Am Not a Robot. It aired from December 2017 into early 2018. It is a romantic comedy and has a little bit of science fiction. There is a science element to it. Starring Yoo Sung Ho, Chae Soo Bin, and Ki Jun. And he's not playing a villainous killer in this show. But basically, the plot of this is that Kim In Kyu, which is the character played by Yoo Sung Ho, suffers from a human allergy. He believes that when the humans touch him, well, he doesn't believe, he does have a physical reaction to humans. And so, and this comes from trauma, which you will come to find out when you watch the drama. It's actually quite sad because he kind of secluded himself from humans and does his best to have little to no human interaction. But then he invests in this company, and in this company, they make robots, like very high intelligent AI level robots. And basically, this plot is him um, falling for who he thinks is a robot, uh, but it's actually a real girl. But his human allergy doesn't manifest because he genuinely thinks that this person is a robot. So, as opposed to like an actual human being pretending to be a robot, when you watch it, you find out why and how that came about, like how she ended up pretending to be a robot. The robot looked like her, and they will also tell you why that is the case. she she has to do what she had to do. I would say 10 out of 10, not 10 out of 10. I recommend this for you to watch. It has a very really like addictive storytelling personally because I've rewatched it a couple times. It has depth even though it's like a romance, like a romantic drama. It still has a bit of depth to it because you get to explore the storylines of someone who has been traumatized or has been failed by a lot of humans and in essence kind of internalized the illness. And then you get tones of betrayal, right? There's definitely going to be an element of betrayal there. You have tones of someone who has all these grand ideas, wants to do more, but constantly feels like they're not good enough or they're not enough. And when you blend all that stuff together, though there's romance and there's the stuff at the top level, it does have depth to it. I would say that the plot was very good, though unrealistic because how you go, you know what? I'm gonna leave that one be. Um, the script was good, acting was really good. Like it wasn't anything that was like over the top, but it wasn't just like lighthearted, no depth. Um, that's 32 episodes but they're 32 30 minutes episodes. So just think you're watching like two episodes would be like 1 hour, which is typically what a K-drama episode is. It has really good pacing, so you don't feel like it's 32 episodes, like it doesn't feel long. But yeah, I do recommend this. It is, I mean, it depends on the person, but for me, I've rewatched it a couple of times when I wanted to watch something that was like a rom-com, so it had a little bit of depth, but wasn't like people out here killing people, people out here plotting against people, none of that stuff. And so that is I Am Not a Robot. Check it out if that interests you at all. And now we're going to move on to Reply 1988. And when I tell you, I love the Reply series, like genuinely with my heart and my soul. There's just something warm about the Reply series. But I'm going to talk about Reply 1988. When this drama came out, it aired in 2015 into 2016. Girl, I ate this drama up. I loved the heck out of this drama. And I think for me, I just want to know, 1988 is such a great year because that's the year that Kwon Ji-young was born. If you know, you know. His friends call him, I'm just kidding, I'm not his friends. Also known as G-Dragon. But let's go back to the plot of the story. So 1988 basically is part of the Reply series, and it stars the same parents that are part of that entire series. It's not gonna really matter to you. But it really follows. It's set in 1988, like I've mentioned, like 20 million times now. During the Seoul Olympics and the development phase, like Korea's rapid or fast development phase. So it was set in that time period. And it kind of focuses on this small neighborhood in Seoul, and it follows around this group of families, more specifically the teenagers or the kids in those families. And I wasn't born in 1988. I didn't exist in 1988. And neither did I exist even when I was born in Korea. But for some reason, when I watched that drama, I feel like I have a nostalgia experience, even though I never lived in Korea at that time and I wouldn't have the nostalgia experience. But it gives it that. And I think that like what I really loved about it was that it doesn't really focus on romance, but though there is romance, it does not focus like too much on that. It really captures the spirit of that time. The like, I don't know how to explain it. Things were definitely tough, but also simple. I don't know if there's like a middle ground for that. But what we got to watch was like a group of friends. You got to watch their relationship with one another. There was just so many cute moments. But then you got to watch like things they struggled with. Like everything wasn't just cheery and like happy. Every single character in that show had depth. Like every single character gave us fun, funny, sad, happiness, intensity. They give us everything. And I will say this. It's really part of the Reply series is it starts off like who's the husband, right? So you have the girl and she ends up with end up marrying one of the friends that she grew up with. And so you get to identify two people, sometimes three, but the third one usually drops up. You get to identify people that could potentially be the husband in the present. And so part of that, even though it wasn't super focused on romance, 1988 didn't have a romance element because they were all friends. They didn't really think about each other. And there was a moment when things shifted and we got to start to see and like some of the people's thoughts and opinions of the other person. And I know that like some people didn't like who the final chosen partner was. And then some people loved it. I personally have friends who were like, yeah, they were team A, and I was definitely team B. And I was really sad when team B wasn't chosen. But he won in life. That's all I'm going to say. He won in life because he ended up dating the girl in real life. So I'll take that, even though they're not their characters in real life, but I'll take anything. It's adjacent enough, so I'll take it. I really liked, I know that I say that, but that's why they're on my rewatch list, all of these shows, because I really enjoyed them. Each of them have their own thing they give me, but the nostalgia feeling of 1988 is beyond. And it's when you watch it, it's going to be so different from the dramas that you watch that are modern, and you're going to be able to tell why it's different. But I think that like I could tell even more in the time this aired. It was so different than like everything else that was airing in the last even just years leading up to it, years after it. Like it's so different from it. Like I don't know in comparison. I haven't had time to think about in comparison to things post 2018. But I could tell you in 2016, in 2015, she was a thought leader. She was ahead of her time, babe. She gave you a feeling that you would get when you rewatch things from your like when you were younger without having any connection to Korea at that time. I felt connected to it. And it was a different pace from the like modern dramas I had been watching. So I honestly I recommend any drama in the Reply series, maybe not 94 as much, but any other drama I recommend for you to check out. I think I would say it's a staple that if you're going to call yourself a K-drama buff, I'm just kidding. No one calls themselves that. But I always say, like, I recommend that you watch at least one of the Reply series. Have that in your arsenal. And now we're going to move on to the next drama. And that would be Hello My 20s. Hello My 20s is a drama that aired in 2016, season 1, and then season 2 aired in 2017. And I hope they give us a season 3, but I don't know. If they're going to be less of the same actresses in season 3, I'm not sure if I want it. But at the end of the day, we're connecting to characters. If the actresses can do a good job, then I just have to accept it. But Hello My 20s follows a group of 5 university students who are living in the same like townhome, Belle Epoque. They rent there and they pay for while they're in school. And season 1, absolute banger. I still rewatch it to this day. Actually, I went on this whole journey with it. I used to rewatch it a lot on Viki, and then Viki took it off, and then Netflix had it. Then I rewatched it on Netflix, and then Netflix had the audacity to email me saying, yo, this show is going to be getting kicked off by this date. So make sure you get your rewatch in. So what did I do? I rewatched that stuff several times, and then it was gone from Netflix. And then Viki brought it back. Netflix brought it back, and I've honestly actually been rewatching it recently. But I'm like, why did you do that to me? What was the reason? Why did you leave only to bring it back? Why did you threaten me with an email to tell me that you were taking it off Netflix? After how much you take from my bank account? Why would you do that? Why would you do that to me? Anyways, Hello My 20s is kind of like a slice of life, I would say. They have diverse personality, all of the actors, all of the actresses in this, and they have like different life challenges to go through. It's not anything that's like, oh, there's a big bad wolf that they're fighting against. Like they all have individual things going on in their lives, and then you kind of get to watch them work through it. or in essence go through it. I think what I really liked about it is that it wasn't like the typical, like there are really real things like domestic violence. We have like workplace harassment. We have childhood trauma. We have I would say maybe female sexuality, um, adult diapers. More to come on that. We have stalking. There's a range of things. We have how do I say this one? I don't want to give it away too much, but there are real like heavy topics, heavy undertones that always starts off and it's like cute, like just university girls, women going through life, going to school, but then it starts to like break down. Each of them have their own thing, but then there are also like cute things, right? You have like someone ends starts their first relationship, falls in love for the first time. You have someone who ends up trying something new and changing careers. You have someone who um kind of had this big thing that was holding her back that kind of in essence got resolved, but maybe not in the way that would have been an ideal scenario. So they all have like really deep things going on in their lives. But at the same time, there's the fun surface there as well. And so season one was a freaking A plus plus plus. Season two, I will say B minus. And the reason why I say B minus is because season two, we had a change in an actress that was playing a character. And then we had a swap out of a character for a new character. The old character did what's the word, cameo in it. But season two started off very Hello 20s style. And then season two, I think, had, I don't know, I feel like season two had maybe a little bit of a darker tone element with one of the characters who didn't really have, like, her storyline in season one didn't have too much depth. But in season two, it had all the depth. A little bit too much. Not too much. I think it was just a really tough subject. But they be going through it. They be really going through it. But either way, it's a great drama. I recommend season one. It's also known as Age of Youth. So depending on what platform you watch it on, is Hello My 20s or Age of Youth. And that's it for Hello My 20s. Next on the list is She Was Pretty. She Was Pretty is a 2015 drama starring Park Seo Joon, Super Junior's Choi Si-won, and Hwang Jung-hoon, and a bunch of other people that were stellar. The reason why I have this on the list is not because I think it's like A plus 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 plus, but because let's just remind ourselves this is a list of dramas I rewatch. Okay, and She Was Pretty really follows the protagonist Kim Hae Jin, who's played by Hwang Jung Hoon. She was really pretty when she was young. She was like very known to be a very pretty girl. And then, things went left when she got older. And that's something that is seen in her father as well. Like he was attractive when he was younger, and then things went left when he got older, and he remained left. And so that's kind of what happened to her. And she was, when she was younger, she had a childhood friend, Ji Sung Joon, which is played by Park Seo Joon. And when he was younger, he wasn't the attractive kid per his peers, right? Like, and he definitely had a thing for her because she was a pretty girl. And now they're both grown. They've gone apart, and this drama then follows him returning back. They end up working at the same company, but he's like higher up, and she recognizes who he is. He obviously doesn't recognize her because he's like, I don't think that he would have thought that that person would have ended up being this person. However, I would say I really like this drama because sometimes we have dramas where you do the makeover scene and it's like they're a completely different person. But in this scenario, when they did the makeover theme, I think they did it a little bit uniquely where it didn't feel like she was so like a different person. It just helped boost her confidence a little bit. It was charming. It's a charming drama. It's not like, there are definitely interesting plots. There are ways that she goes to approach like meeting up with him because he obviously wanted to sync with his childhood friend. But then she obviously didn't want to show him her face because he remembered her pretty and she doesn't think she's that anymore. It was a very interesting because I don't think I could really ask that of someone. But, and then, damn, doing something without spoilers is just really tough because I want to tell you everything. It's really good. It's really good. I think you get to watch Park Seo-joon's character dig deeper than her physical appearance, or outward appearance, and like dig into her as a human being. But it's funny. I think Choi Siwon's character, technically for me, found him annoying, but he had his moments. But overall, I think I would say charming, really positive message. It's relatable. It feels real. I rewatch it because it's just an easy drama to rewatch. And I recommend at least you watch it once. That will be my recommendation. Okay, and the next drama we have is Coffee Prince. Coffee Prince is a 2007 drama that stars Yoon Hoon A, Gong Yoo, Hee Sung Yoon, and Chae Jung Ah. And you know me, you don't know me, but I love me some Gong Yoo. I love me some Lee Sung Yoo because that man's voice. I mean, if you know, you know. If you don't know, find out when you watch this show and when you watch the next one we'll talk about. But I love this drama like so much. I also recommended to that same friend to watch that drama. And you know what they have not done yet? Watched it. Your days are numbered in our friendship, not in life, in our friendship. Just know. Anyways, the plot of the story, Coffee Prince is sort of like it's not it's what they call a gender bender. That's when they like mix. It's not a gender bender. Basically, we have Go Chan, who's played by Eun-hye, plays that character, and then Gong Yoo plays Choi Han-gyu. Eun-chan's dad died at such a young age, so she's sort of the breadwinner of the family. And what you're gonna get to watch is Eun-chan, who kind of has so many jobs, don't got time to be dressy up, and she ain't got no titties, so she flat chested, and because she's flat chested, and she got a short haircut because it's just easier to manage, people will be thinking she's a boy. And you know what? It is what it is. So she just rolls with it depending on the scenario. And in this scenario, she meets, I'm not going to tell you how they end up meeting, but she does meet Hang-gyu, Gong-yu's character, and he's opening up a coffee shop, and he just wants a bunch of good-looking guys serving coffee at his shop. We all know Eun-chan is not a girl. I mean, she's a girl. She's not a boy. So the only way she can get a job there because she needs another job because the last one kind of went kaput. So she pretends to be a guy. And that's where the story starts. And now you kind of get to watch them fall for each other. And it's very complicated because imagine falling for someone that you think they're the same gender as you in 2007. And granted, this is a drama, right? Where it's not necessarily seen as acceptable. And you're the only son of a conglomerate, a rich family. You're the only son of a rich family. They're not out here trying to have you be with a man. They don't want that. And so that is a very complex thing to be dealing with and interactions to be having and working through for someone that's actually a girl. And so when you watch this drama, it's very fun. It goes through moments of different types of like layers of life, I would say. And then the biggest part is really the feeling of confusion, the feeling of acceptance, the feeling of betrayal, while making some good coffee. I don't want to go too much into detail because I could really easily just go down the path of telling you this entire drama. These are the reasons why I think you love it. I think that of all the dramas that have tried to do they don't think she's a girl, they think she's a boy, and they're treating her as a boy, this has done it so well. Like, she legitimately looks like, I know she's a girl, But if you compare it to other dramas that have done this theme, they kill it, and they still hold the award for that. You get real topics, like real conversations, because it makes sense for someone to really be torn between, like, I feel this way about this person, but I feel like I shouldn't feel this way about this person. Is there something wrong with me? And then going through, well, like, you know what? Then I just have to accept that I feel this way and enjoy it. And then going through, there's just all of this emotions you go through. And then behind the scenes, there's also supporting characters who are also kind of playing a role in there, not necessarily in a good way, but not in a bad way either. But they're turning things up a little bit, giving you a reason to dig deeper. All in all, fun. I will say one of the cons is that there are moments where Gontan eats like the moment where you be like, that I need you to close your mouth when you eat. They're disgusting moments, just tiny disgusting moments, but they're very small, very small. I think all in all, lovable characters, relatable. I think that is one of those dramas that you should definitely watch, whether you end up rewatching it or not. You should definitely have that checked off on your list. The final drama on today's episode is My Mister. And when I tell you, before I go down, My Mister is a drama that aired in March of 2018, starring Lee Ji-yoon, also known as IU, and starring Lee Sung-kyun from Coffee Prince. And this drama is unlike anything else I mentioned on this list. It is deep AF. I rewatched it recently, and then I think I rewatched it again. Recently, and before then, I rewatched it in 2020 or something around that time. And I remember my friend called me while I was watching it, and girl, I was in tears. She's like, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, "I'm watching My Mister." She's like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm just like, "I'm sorry, I'm human." This is not romance. So get that like out of your head. This is a true deep. Like, it makes you think. You get to watch very flawed characters. I mean, very, very flawed characters interact. You get to see a development of love that is not, in essence, a romantic manner. These characters are going through things like debt, things like being responsible for a parent of sorts, feelings of not self-worth, feelings of maybe not feeling like you're enough. I would say overall, this drama is very healing if you pay attention and it awakens things in yourself that you might have deep down that you need to oh, this is why I'm doing this, or this must be how I feel. It's dark. Even the tone of the movie, of the drama, it's dark scenes. And when I say dark, there isn't murder or anything like that. I mean that the scene, the color in the scene is dark, but it's to express the emotions and the turmoil that these main characters are going through, and all the things. This young girl, she is being put through so much hell, so much hell. And My Mister, he's a much older guy than she is, and at first, she tried to blackmail him. Hey, she gotta do what she gotta do. She tried to blackmail him. I don't know. Watching their relationship and their bond grow was really, really, really fun to watch. Though it was very flawed. Them as human beings, fighting the turmoil of not feeling like you have purpose, trying to figure out how you make it through life, with life throwing bricks at you. And everyone else seemingly looking at you like your life is perfect, but internally you're in shambles. I think that it has a really good balanced mix of emotions, and you get to reflect real human experiences that you don't think about often in some of these K dramas, because sometimes they can be just really in TV at times, things can be a little bit far-fetched that you forget to think about the real human experiences. I give this drama 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Like, if you want something real, My Mister is the drama for you. If you're not one that likes that kind of realness, you kind of like to escape realness because that's why you watch TV, then I would say probably don't watch it. But if you want real and you're not afraid to like dig deep into your emotions, I would recommend My Mister. There is a plot point though that they got me effed up on, okay? Because why is this person going to be straight up evil and then they try to basically give them a redemption arc? I'm not effing with that because I'm going to remember every single thing you did to me. But they sacrificed themselves, so I guess I would just, that's cool. It's a great drama, 10 out of 10 overall, 10. Story, 10. Directing, 10. Actors, 10. Supporting cast, 9.5. Cinematography. Oh my gosh, I can't say that word. I was going to say 8 over 10 because bitch was dark most of the time. My goodness, give us some light. Music. The music was perfect, in tune with what was being shown on here. It's a very beautiful representation of the highs and lows of like the human experience and what it is being a human being. And again, I can't recommend it enough. I've rewatched it a couple of times, and sometimes when I just want to just put myself through it, I rewatch it. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. I would love to hear if there are any dramas on this list that you've watched, and you have thoughts about it that aligns with my thoughts or doesn't align with my thoughts. I'd like to hear about it. If there are any other dramas that I've talked about here that you would love for me to just do an episode breaking it down, I'm happy to. You just go on my Instagram, Deurama Unnie, and comment on my latest post and let me know. And with that being said, it's time for me to leave. But you can stay, but I'm leaving. So we'll talk next time. Bye.